Grantaraj Śhrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you again for coming. And today we will be reading from Canto 2 and Chapter 1, titled The First Step in God Realization, and text number 1. Shri Shuka Vacha Varyamesha te prashnan Varyanesha te prashna Krito loka hitam ripa Krito loka hitam ripa Atvamit samata pumsham Atmavit samatam pumsham Shrotavyashidishu yapraha Shrotavyadishu yapara Shishuga vacha Varyamesha te prashna Krito loka hitam ripa Atmavit samatak pumsham Shrotavyadishu yapara Shri Shuka Vacha Varyanesha te prashna Krito loka hitam ripa Atmavit samata pumsam Shrotavyadishu yapara Shri Shuka Vacha Varyanesha te prashna Atmavit samata pumsam Shrotavyadishu yapara Shri Shuka Vacha Varyanesha te prashna Krito loka hitam ripa Atmavit samata pumsam Shrotavyadishu yapara Varyamesha te prashna Krito loka hitam ripa Atmavit samata pumsam Shrotavyadishu yapara Shri Shuka Vacha Shri Shukadeva Goswami said, Varyan, glorious, Esa, this, Te, your, Prashna, question, Krita, made by you, Lokahitam, beneficial for all men, Nripa, O King, Atmavid, Transcendentalists, Samatah, approved, Pumsham, of all men, Shrotavya Adishu, in all kinds of hearing, Yah, what is, Para, the Supreme. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, "My dear King, your question is glorious because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is a prime subject matter for hearing, and it is approved by all transcendentalists." Purport. Even the very question is so nice that it is the best subject matter for hearing. Simply by such questioning and hearing, one can achieve the highest perfection stage of life. Because Lord Krishna is the original Supreme Person, any question about Him is original and perfect. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that the highest perfection of life is to achieve the transcendental loving service of Krishna. Because question and answer about Krishna elevate one to the transcendental position, the questions of Maharaj Parikshit about Krishna philosophy are greatly glorified. Maharaj Parikshit wanted to absorb his mind completely in Krishna, and such absorption can be effected simply by hearing about the uncommon activities of Krishna. For instance, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that simply by understanding the transcendental nature of Lord Krishna's appearance, disappearance, and activities, one can immediately return home, back to Godhead, and never come back to this miserable condition of material existence. It is very auspicious, therefore, to hear always about Krishna. So Maharaj Parikshit requested Shukadeva Goswami to narrate the activities of Krishna, so that he could engage his mind in Krishna. The activities of Krishna are non-different from Krishna himself. As long as one is engaged in hearing such transcendental activities of Krishna, he remains aloof from conditional life of material existence. The topics of Lord Krishna are so auspicious that they purify the speaker, the hearer, and the inquirer. They are compared to the Ganges waters, which flow from the toe of Lord Krishna. Wherever the Ganges waters go, they purify the land and the person who bathes in them. Similarly, Krishna Katha, or the topics of Krishna, are so pure that wherever they are spoken, the place, the hearer, the inquirer, the speaker, and all concerned become purified. Horrible. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupah Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Ragunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitam Shcha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, once again, and I'm very happy to actually start. It's like very auspicious occasion for me to start the second canto of Śhrīmad-Bhāgavatam, because this is first verses. They are always very important because they kind of give us an idea what's gonna be spoken next, and they give us the understanding what is important, what is will be said. And so we start this chapter from recap basically of what happened in last chapters from the previous, in last verses of previous chapter. And so this here is mentioned the question which Maharaj Parikshit was asking to Shukadeva Goswami, and I will quickly actually find this question just to remind everyone. Just 1 second. Okay, so Maharaj Parikshit was asking in 38 verse. He was saying, "Please let me know what a man should hear, chant, remember, and worship, and also what he should not do. Please explain all this to me." So basically, that's how we can understand that Maharaj Parikshit was in the last stage of his life. He was going to die in 7 days. But somehow Krishna arranged this gathering of the greatest souls to come and to speak from Śhrīmad-Bhāgavatam, just to give us a clear idea actually what is really should be done, like what is really important, right, before you go to the next stage of existence, what is really important to do. And it also shows us that basically these last days we need to really understand and to remind ourselves who we are, that we are not just an animals, right? Like we're human beings, and we were given an intelligence which we should use in a proper way. Which not so many people actually are doing. And Srila Prabhupada, he often says that we very lack of knowledge about who we are. And one of the most important questions is to figure out actually and really to understand that you are not this body, you are the soul. And yesterday I was listening to one lecture, and the speaker, he's a book distributor actually in Sydney, and for me it's very interesting to hear such people speaking, because they contact with people, right, and they have so many stories, and these life stories is not just like something dry knowledge, but they bring this essence from talking to people outside. So he was given an example about the soul, that it was like, I met one person on the street, and it was a time when I don't know if you've heard about that, probably don't hear to the news, but one of the greatest basketball player, Kobe Bryant, he passed away a couple of months ago, I believe. So, and for the whole world, actually, like at least for this country, it was a big, how to say it, lose, right? When you lose something, like, and people were very in grief, and it's very common way to express yourself, saying rest in peace, right? But then he was like asking himself, so what does it mean actually, rest in peace? Like, who should rest in peace? Because the body is, like, when something happens to the body, right? If like it's some kind of accident, like car crash or like whatever, or for example it was helicopter crash, like body is destroyed, so basically it cannot rest in peace. But same time we mean there is something, must be something that should rest in peace, basically. So this is how people refer to the soul, like they basically exist, like accept that soul exists, but they somehow they just don't go deeper, so they don't ask themselves if there is a soul. So then what is the next stage for the soul journey, right? They just stop here, and they not willing, like at least to figure out what is the real truth, what is the real purpose of the soul in this planet, like. And that's why, again, like, that's why Śhrīmad-Bhāgavatam was spoken, because by asking right questions, actually, this is a way to get the right answer. And the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam was spoken for us to hear the right question and to learn what is the right answer. So all the right answers are given in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That's why Krishna arranged all this situation. And so what is the soul, and where the soul is going, and basically what is the relationship of the soul and with the Supreme Lord, and how this relationship should be developed. And Srila Prabhupada, he very often said that the purpose of ISKCON, right, like he came here and he set up this movement just to learn, like to teach people very simple thing, to teach them how to love God, basically. And this is one of the main ideas of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as well, because to self-realize, like to realize God, it should be done by developing this loving relationship between soul and a God. And I was thinking, what does it mean for myself, for example, and how do I understand? And actually, like we're talking a lot about love, and we given our own ideas of what it is. And like for example, for myself, I know that only one way for me to understand what it really is to get it from experience of my life, from relationship, right? And it is said that there is, like, you cannot develop any relationship without love. But then, I remember one of my friends said that that basically love starts to be developed only when relationship starts. So it's kind of, you see, it has like this both side connection. You cannot have one thing without other. So, and then I was thinking that, okay, you can develop love only through relationship, right? That's what we're trying to do, to develop relationship with Krishna. And to develop relationship, we need actually to do service. Because through service, it's how, like, you know, recently, like, I've been spoken about, like, a lot about relationship in general, right? Like, how we understand it and how, like, what is important, like, what is this actually process, how you can, how in a practical way you can develop. And basically, you cannot develop any relationship just through, you know, talking. Or for example, when you hear Śhrīmad-Bhāgavatam, yeah, you accept this knowledge, but if you don't practice it, it doesn't manifest in real life. Same when you have an idea in your mind, like for example, when you want to develop any relationship with anyone, it doesn't matter, like, is it your, like, lover or friend, whatever. It's not enough just to talk. Should be done through service. So you should work together, and the greatest essence you can get when you work together for the same, like, to achieve same goals, basically, right? That's what we do here in the temple. We came here to serve Krishna, and this is how we develop our relationship, like love in a relationship between us, between devotees. And it's so amazing. And it's so different from experience we can get from outside, because, like, you know, like recently I was leaving the temple for a week. I was looking for some peace, you know, like I felt like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed being all the time here with the same people, and I was like, okay, so I need to go outside and it would help me. But I was a little bit disappointed when I like left the temple, went somewhere, and like I just was contacting with the material world outside, and it was so disappointing for me because it was not the way to get this peace from my mind, right? Because this is just not the right way. And when I come back, I basically was asking myself, so what's next and what should be done to improve myself and to feel better here. Just doesn't matter what is going on, just to keep myself calm and move on with my life and my services. And then I was talking to someone about services which I can be involved in, and this person gave me a very nice answer about that. It's very nice it's very good to be involved in service, which is you can using your like abilities or qualities, for example, right? Like I can do some physical service in regards like doing construction or like whatever, just something physical, right? This service for Krishna. But we should always remember what is the main purpose. And the main purpose, which like even like Srila Prabhupada gave us, is to preach, is to share the knowledge, is to give like, you see, peace of mind comes when you actually learn how to share what you have. And then I was also thinking that when you share, it's like when when you think something, it kind of exists only in your head. But when you go outside and you start to talk to people and you give them your like knowledge, your understanding, basically you share your heart, you give something to them. It's kind of you make these things, what was said, you make them real. And this is how, like this is where our inspiration comes from, basically, because it becomes part of your life and of your personality. And so now we're coming back to the verse and to these important questions, right? And the most important question is to ask yourself, what is the main goal is. And Srila Prabhupada says that, so this, you see, this chapter is called the first step in God realization. And what is actually the first step in God realization? Any ideas? How do you think? No? Huh? Say it again? Yeah, that's right. So the first step in God realization is inquiring, right? Is the asking the right questions. And and you see people in this material world, they are so busy with their like daily life routine, right? They're just like going somewhere, doing this like work, home, work, and nothing special is going on. It's all the same, and they like live their life. They die eventually, and nothing important happened. Like what it was all about. So this is why these questions, but an intelligent person, Srila Prabhupada explains, like intelligent person will always ask these questions. There is no way that, because this is very something really natural. It's like, for example, when so this devotee from Sydney also was given a very nice example, which I really liked, about this intelligence, right? Like he was asking, so he was talking to someone on the street again, like during his distribution, and some person was questioning him, like, oh, so is like this fire, like wood fires in all over Australia, right? And a lot of animals dying, and I was like, and this person was expressing this like, deep grief, like, oh, it's like something very bad is going on, and a lot of animals are suffering. And at the same time, this person was carrying in his head like box with KFC food, And Prabhu was asking, like, okay, you suffer because of animals, like animals are dying, but at the same time, do you, how do you think how many animals are dying to produce this food for you. So why are you suffering from? You see, it's kind of duality in this world. We follow something, like for example, it was about a month or even more on the TV. In every news, you could see like these poor koalas who are dying in this forest, and people were like saving them. So it was like, and when you into this, like when you listening to this news all the time, of course you kind of get this. You also start to feel this collective grief, right? But you're not like in real life. You're not questioning what's the purpose of doing what you're doing. Like you eat meat, so why you express your suffering? Like this just doesn't make sense, and it shows how our intelligence works, right? Like if you're an intelligent person, you will always ask yourself right questions, not just like following someone, who puts some ideas in your head and you don't even question in yourself, like what's this all about? So this is why it's so important to inquire right questions, to use your intelligence, because we are human beings. We were given, we're not animals who cannot use like their intelligence. And and then also I was thinking about, so we need to develop love for God, but for a human being it's much easier to develop it through relationship with devotees, right? Because like for myself, I think this is the first stage from where we should start from, because doing these small steps in our daily life and treating each other in the right way, this is what can be done every minute, It's not like you should sit, read books and ask yourself, how can I start loving God? It doesn't work like this. But same time, you can go and work with these people who you live with and try to develop this loving relationship in this, to start first from material level, and then this how your consciousness will be uplifted, and that's how your heart will be purified. So eventually you can achieve this level of understanding what actually the love of God is. And very common way to develop the relationship, love and the relationship with Krishna, for example, is also simply chanting Maha Mantra. That's what we're doing every day, right? But it's very important the way we're doing this. So it's how also very nice example was said. For example, when I guess a lot of us have such a friend who is very talkative, or you can listen to these people, they can talk and talk and talk for hours, and they, especially when it's happening on the phone, you can leave your phone on the side and they won't even recognize you don't listen to them, because they're so self-centered, right? They're so into this their own expressions that they don't even care about you. Do you listen to them or no? Same time, we see us chanting Maha Mantra. We chant this mantra, but how often do we chant attentively, right? It's the same way. It's you're on the phone with Krishna and you chant. But if your mind is somewhere else, if it's like concentrated on your daily, like whatever is going on in your life, and you just like absorbed in this, and you just automatically repeat Maha Mantra, it means like Krishna won't listen to you as well. Like it's not like he doesn't want to. No, he wants to, but he would just put you on hold and wait until you really will be into him, right? So. And you see so many examples from our real life which you can just extend to this transcendental level. But that's why, again, questioning yourself is very important. What is going on right now? Like to try to be in this moment, because like we're very, very absorbed in current situation, whatever is going on. Like when it's good, it's okay, but when it's bad, we're so deep into situation, and we just lose this connection with the main goal of life, right? Like we stop seeing Krishna in like everything. We just like so somewhere away, so like so far away, and and to develop. So we just like made a list of things which can help us actually to develop the loving relationship. And like recently I was reading some quote somewhere on the internet. It was quote by Russian writer Lev Tolstoy. I hope our Indian friends know who it is, right? And he was really what's the word? He was a person who actually loved people a lot. And the quote was about, he was saying that it's very unintelligent to think that people are not changing, because we're actually changing all the time, like it's unintelligent to put sticks on people, thinking like, for example, this person is bad because he did this, this, and this to me. It's not like that, because of course we're all doing something wrong and right, but we're always changing in terms we're trying to improve ourselves. So it's very unintelligent just to be stuck to this like sticker, right? Because now you are smart. Like for example, when we was a kid, you was not really smart. You didn't know anything. But then you went to school and you got this knowledge. It means like you changed, right? You changed the way you are, or like I don't know. Today you suffer and tomorrow everything changes, so like you feel much better, even like 2 different days can be completely different. So like it always changes, and it means in our relationship we also should to adjust, and it's very important to forgive each other, because whatever is done, we're doing this for, it just brings us purification, basically. And it is very important to forgive each other, because one day we will be the one who would need this forgiveness as well, So that's why, and we should be very attentive to each other. And attentive in terms that we should really respect each other, respect each other's time, and to be honest in what we expect from each other, just not to waste this time, which is very important. Like you can use it for preaching, for example, like same time, but you're not doing this because you're busy with something different. And we should be respectful to each other's space, and to each other's needs, and not just to be self-centered and thinking what do I need to get right now from this person. Same with Krishna. You cannot be like, when you put Krishna in the center, everything changes immediately. It's how even here, you see, Maharaj Parikshit, he didn't have any fear before like in a, how to say it nicely, in front of Dāsī, because he didn't put him into the center, right? He was not thinking like, oh, I'm suffering so much. No, he was thinking about Krishna completely. He was absorbed in it because he knew what's the main goal of life. So like he didn't have any fear because he knew that he would, like he was just trying to fulfill his duty, and that's it. And so, same way, we should not be afraid in front of any difficulties in our life, because if you put Krishna into the center, he fulfill all the desires, basically. He would give you strength and he will empower you. Of course, if it's the right thing, he will empower you to do. So yeah, it's very important. You see, sometimes we're trying to find inspiration from other people who we think are very inspired by themselves. But it's not the right way of thinking, because these people, they also have their source of inspiration, right? And we because of lack of the knowledge, we see this in them. But if you realize that they find the source in Krishna, and you can do the same, then everything changes, because then you don't basically need anyone to inspire you, because everything already exists inside of you, because you have this connection with the super soul inside of you. And that's it. That's the only relationship basically you need. And from this everything starts, from this everything flourishes. So, and what else I can tell you today? Let me see my notes. Yeah, I think this is probably enough for today. And thank you so much for listening. And yeah, probably if you have any comments, questions, realizations. Grantaraj Śhrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Dāsī.